Welcome to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast, connecting real people with expert advice to achieve a healthier lifestyle and live a more fulfilling and abundant life. Here is your host, Coach Tavia.
Well, hello. Can you guys hear that song? Welcome back. I'm welcoming myself back and celebrating today because it's the new year. Woohoo! How about that? Hey, I'm back, guys. It's Health Coach Tavia. How y'all doing today? I'm so excited. I had to bring you a little celebration for my first podcast of the new year. January got away from me, you guys. I mean, I don't know if you had a crazy January like me, but today's February 1st and I'm recording my first podcast. I'm just totally full disclosure here. But January was crazy. As you know, unless you've been living under a rock, you know what I mean by that. And yes, this little virus bug that's been going around for a couple of years now. Holy heck, you guys. If you don't know anybody that's had this thing, I think you have been living under a rock, let's be honest. But I gotta say it kind of put a dent in my January. Today I'm going to talk about a little bit about what happened in the month of January for me. And we are going to talk about, unfortunately, the C word today, not cancer, COVID-19. Yep, I got to go there. And why I got to go there is because, guys, it hit our house. Yep, it did. And it wasn't fun, but guess what? We got through it. Yep, we did it. We did it. Yay. And I'm going to talk about how we got through it because I feel like it needs to be talked about. Not so much as I know you guys are sick of talking about it, about Corona, COVID, whatever you want to call it. But I want to talk about the good. Okay, let's talk about the good today. I want to talk about the good that happened out of this. So my husband came home about January 3rd, 4th, something like that. He actually had a vacation the first 2 weeks of January, and we were going to go somewhere nice and warm and tropical or do something fun. But literally the next day after he came home, he woke me up in the middle of the night and said, "I'm achy. I don't feel good." And I was like, "Get out of here." And we have a basement. So he resided to the basement. At that time, I was just like, oh gosh, this is not what we needed. And by the next morning, he had full fever. He had a headache. He just felt like caca. And I was like taking care of him, wearing my mask in the house. I sent him downstairs, trying to avoid at all costs. I was feeling really good, actually, and taking care of myself. And you guys know I'm a functional nutritional practitioner. I'm a nutritionist. I have Lyme disease. So I take care of myself. I have to take care of myself. So I was really prepared for this. I'm going to tell you that right now. We had dodged the bullet on this thing for about 2 years, social distancing, wearing our mask, doing all the things, washing the hands, upping my immune system, just staying safe. And so when Jeff got sick, I was like, I wasn't really freaked out. I wasn't worried. If anything, I was more worried about him. And again, I'm going to be really honest, really blunt. This is my show. I can do what I want, right? I don't really care if you don't like what I have to say. You can turn me off. I'm sorry. That sounds mean, but I care about you, right? I care about you. And that's why I'm going to share this. But I don't care about what you think of my choices because your choices are your choices. I'm not going to dictate or judge what your choices are. Okay. So I just want the same respect of what we decided to do and how we treat our bodies, right? And what we put into our bodies. So I just want to say that right then and there. And I respect what you want to do. I just respect choice. I really do. Because it's our bodies and we are the temple of our body, right? Jesus made us so that it's our temple, right? We have to take care of it. So I want to point out, so when Jeff got sick, so full disclosure, Jeff was vaccinated, guys. And I also want to point out too, I am not anti-vax. Obviously, my husband's vaccinated, right? I was not vaccinated, you guys. No. No, before everybody goes hemming and hawing around that and why I did or did not, I want to explain why I did not get vaccinated. Not that I owe anybody an explanation because it is my health and I believe in HIPAA, but it seems like ever since COVID happened, HIPAA went out the window. I don't know where HIPAA went. But I'm being really vulnerable right now and really raw with you guys, because I want the truth to be known. I believe in truth and I believe what is right and what is true. Okay. I'm not going to get political here at all. You guys know me. I don't do that. This is not about politics. This is just about I'm sharing what happened in our household. Okay. So here it is. Jeff got sick. He was vaccinated. And he came down with fever, headache, not feeling good at all. Right. He wasn't horrible though. He wasn't horrible. No cough. And so that was like Thursday, Friday. And then about Saturday night, Sunday morning, guess what? I woke up with a massive headache. Now I get headaches quite often, but this was a different headache. It was almost like head pains. And I woke up and I actually felt so nauseous when I got up and I'm like, something's not right. I ended up throwing up actually. I had nothing in my stomach luckily, but I felt awful and I was dizzy. I was like, this is weird. So we had some COVID tests laying around and I went and took one. Bam, I was positive for COVID. So anyway, 3 days later, I'm right behind Jeff and I get COVID. So from there, I was like, all right, Tavia, you're on this. You got it. You just got to deal with it. So like I said, I had prepped for this. I had prepared myself for this. My vitamin D levels are pristine. They're awesome. I check them regularly. You want to be above 50 or above. If you're looking at numbers, want to know a number. If you're below 30, you do not have good numbers. If you're below 50, you're not even that great protected. I like to have someone above 50 or above. I was like at 100. So my vitamin D levels were really good, which was great. So I was monitoring that. I was taking vitamin C, taking all the things, NAC and acetylcysteine, glutathione. I'll get into that in a few minutes. Those are detoxification things that you can take. So if you're out there suffering from COVID right now, those are things that you can buy over the counter. This isn't prescription. This isn't going to get you in trouble or anything like that. These are things that are simple things that have been great and proven to help beat the COVID. So anyways, going back to my journey a little bit. So I got sick on like a Sunday. I just had a headache really. And then a couple of days later, I'm like, oh, my throat, my glands swelled up. So I took some some active measures. And I went to my chiropractor and he took me in when no patients were in there and back in the back. And I didn't see him or anybody. It was like triple masked. And I went and did this laser machine, this high-tech laser machine that actually helped drain the lymph and reduce some inflammation that was going on in my body. So that is something I did that was probably not in the norm for people. So I did that like on day 3, when I started feeling my throat kind of close up and my glands, I should say, not throat. So I did that. And then after the next day, my throat was very raw. I felt like I had needles in my throat. Oh, it was awful. And Jeff was feeling better actually by day 5. And I had him go to the store for me and say, get me some Secrets, get me something to numb my throat. Just to numb it. It was awful. And I was doing, you guys, the gargling of the salt water. I was doing neti pot in my nose because they said, keep your nose clean. So I was doing all those things too. So I want to point out those were some other things that helped. So then after that, so let's see, it was like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, about day 5. This was really weird. So Jeff was starting to feel better, but he started blowing his nose. So he was getting all the junk out where I all of a sudden got plugged up and my sinuses just would not, I couldn't. And then I lost my taste and smell too. Anybody have that? Oh, it's the worst. So I got plugged up in my sinuses and really I was just tired. That's all my symptoms were. And then it was really weird on day 5 or 6. I got really mad. I was like, I'm mad. I hate this thing. I just want it out of me because I haven't been sick, you guys. Jeff and I, my husband, we don't get sick. Like I have Lyme stuff, like flares, where I have bad days if I eat something bad, if I don't get enough sleep. Like I have some things that I deal with, but I tell you what, I would rather have those symptoms of flaring than actually had the COVID that I had. It sounds bad. It sounds really bad, but I really would because the COVID, I felt like I couldn't control it. And with the Lyme, I've had it so long, I know what to do. I know how to control it. I know what my body needs. Now I know what's flaring, blah, blah, blah. So the COVID was a new experience. Any of you can probably relate out there, right? It was a weird experience. It wasn't your typical like viral virus thing that it just wasn't. It was different. So anyway, so like on day 5, 6, I got really mad. I got kind of depressed. I'll be honest. I felt like my brain was like on fire, so to speak, like there was some inflammation going on. Lo and behold, I did some more research and actually talked to my Lyme specialist this weekend about it. And he said, that's a thing. He said, actually, that's a really thing. He actually got COVID too. And he said he felt the same way. So I'm curious if you felt the same way too, if you had some issues with either some depression or like getting mad about this thing and kind of affect your brain. So anyways, after that, I was basically just stuffy. And then it kind of went into like, I felt like I had a sinus infection. So I did reach out to a doctor and she did give me some antibiotics and possibly a sinus infection. I don't really even know if I had it or was just stuck. But all of a sudden it started draining. I started feeling better. It took me probably a good 10 days before I felt human again. Jeff took about 7 or 8 days. What's funny, guys, I never had a fever. I never had body aches. My husband had fever, body aches, headache, sore throat, the stuffiness, blowing his nose, congestion. Neither of us had a cough. None of it went to the chest. So interesting, right? And being that I'm not vaxxed, I was pretty proud of my success coming through this. And I contribute it to me taking care of myself. I really do. And I'm going to pat myself on the back because I was prepared for it, and during the duration of our sickness, I was taking care of my husband and he's not so great about taking his supplements like I am. And anyways, so I took care of him and we were taking a lot of stuff actually. And I'll just kind of run down kind of the list of what we were taking basically. So we were taking, NAC, N-acetylcysteine has been shown to help with inflammation, lungs, mucus, and all of that, and helping to detox you. We took vitamin C, 1,000 to 4,000 a day. We took vitamin D. We took a loading dose. You don't know what a loading dose is. This means you load up big time in the beginning and then you back off. We were taking, but minimum, I take 10,000 IU a day. So I would recommend 5,000 to 10,000. We took vitamin A. Guys, vitamin A. No one talks about vitamin A. Got to take vitamin A. Look it up. See what it does. Vitamin A, vitamin B, B complex, a B12, energy production, mitochondria. You need some B vitamins in you guys for energy production. You are fighting a fight. You need some B vitamins in you. A lot of people are deficient in B vitamins and you don't even know it. If you ever want to test for B vitamins, ask me about the organic acids test and I will test you. It's a urine test and we'll check those B vitamins and nutrient levels. Let's see, what else do we take? We took zinc. They talk about zinc right now. I want to caution you for taking zinc though. Sometimes zinc can upset the tummy. But generally speaking, about 50 to 60 milligrams up to 100 a day. You can take that. Again, full disclosure, I'm not a doctor. Speak to your doctor professional for any medical advice, or if you're taking medication, that is my disclaimer. We took all of that, some elderberry, throat propolis, which is like honey in a spray to help with the throat. It helps so much. We took On Guard from doTERRA. They have some fabulous drops, throat drops. Those were a lifesaver. We did the oils, eucalyptus, like on our feet, our neck and stuff like that. And then as far as pain meds go, we just did, Jeff took Tylenol one time when he had the fever. I never had a fever, like I said, but I just took some ibuprofen a couple of days. It literally took it, I think 2 or 3 days, and that was it. Cause I'm just not a big pusher of pills, unless you absolutely need them. I want to point out something that most people don't know this with Tylenol. Tylenol is a great fever reducer, right? Known that for years. But guys, what you don't know, glutathione. Tylenol reduces glutathione production. It prevents it. It kind of blocks it. You're like, what's glutathione? That's another thing you need to take. Glutathione is, we naturally produce that sometimes, except when we're sick. It can be depleted again. Glutathione is the precursor to, NAC, N-acetylcysteine that I mentioned is a precursor to glutathione. If you are deficient in any one of those, you are not going to detox properly. You are not going to get the junk out as good, right? Excuse me 1 second. Throat's dry from talking. When you take Tylenol, it depletes that glutathione. So if you can choose a different pain reliever like ibuprofen, I would suggest that, in my opinion. So glutathione. Oh, NAC. We talked about NAC. Another thing we took was quercetin. Quercetin starts with a Q. Quercetin helps get some of that mucus out. It helps with the lungs if you have a cough. So great. So great. Of course, drinking lots of tea, hot foods. Those are probably the bulk of what we did. Now, there was one other thing that I was on and that I want to talk about. It's very controversial. But I'm going there because I want to speak truth. And if you have a concern, you can contact me directly. I will totally talk to you about it. I am not promoting this to take. I am, again, sharing what I took. There was one other thing I took that was, I call vitamin I. I as in igloo, I. And vitamin I took about 4 years ago when I was first fighting Lyme disease. And what is vitamin I? Vitamin I actually is what we call ivermectin. You guys, ivermectin is an FDA-approved drug, and it won a Nobel Peace Prize. It is not horse medicine. It is not horse dewormer by any means. No. This was made for man. There's two different things, and I want to clear the air on that because there's so much controversy out there. And no, I knew about ivermectin way back when I was fighting Lyme, because Lyme is a parasite. Yeah, imagine that. So my doctor prescribed me ivermectin way before before COVID was even around. So when the stuff started talking about ivermectin, when the news started talking about it, I was like, I took that. I was like, people were saying it's horse warmer. I'm like, what are they talking about? I actually called my doctor. I'm like, what are they talking about? And he's like, no, there is a horse paste they made and people give it for their horses, but they're like, no, he's like, no, Tavia, I put you on this because it was anti-parasitic and it's antiviral. And I was like, okay, got it. And so, anyways, long story short, so I was on ivermectin. I took it as just kind of a preventative thing. I just take it once a week. And I've been on and off of it for years, actually. And I feel so good on it. I have to tell you, it is a game changer for people with chronic illness. And so I was taking that, and I don't have any regrets. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I had zero reactions to it as far as side effects. If anything, it made me feel fabulous. You guys, it made me feel fabulous. And I'll tell you what, my husband got on it too. And guess what? He was fine in 5 days. So we did really, really well. And again, I don't care if you choose what you choose. It's your body, it's your life. And between you and your doctor is your own health. Decisions is between you guys. But this was a prescription for my doctor, and it's safe. It was effective. It calms down those cytokines that are going on in your body. Guys, what are cytokines? Cytokines is like the storm. So when COVID hits you, it's like this perfect storm, and it just flares up everything else going on. They're talking about right now how it really releases and ramps up EBV, Epstein-Barr virus. So if you've ever had mono, or maybe you didn't know if you had mono or not, or maybe you had EBV but didn't know you had mono, that they're the same thing. If you have EBV in your body, which about 1 in 3 people in the population do, it's creating this perfect storm and creating this another viral load and reactivating things. So what this ivermectin did for me was made me feel better, and it made things calm down for me. And it was 3 weeks ago yesterday that I had contracted COVID, and I feel great. I feel good. I feel really, really good. I don't have like the chronic fatigue. I had some fatigue days. One thing that I did feel that I felt a couple of times is a little bit of like my head just kind of felt off. but my magic doctor, that Dr. Wakely, that I love and admire and respect, over in the west side of the state, he fixed me up yesterday, and we did some neurotherapy, and we did some things to relax that nervous system, reset my nervous system, and I feel tons better today. So another therapy that I had done yesterday that I want to talk about, and because I want to stop talking about ivermectin. Guys, to each his own, respect, love, peace. Okay. I'm not saying go do it. I'm not saying go not do it. I'm just saying what worked for me. Again, trust, right? Trust and truth. Okay. We're getting off that topic. So I wanted to talk about something else that I had done yesterday, which was ozone therapy. And this is something that bewilders me that I want to talk about. So when I go to my doctor's office, we do a lot of therapeutics that are not covered by insurance, some of which some people would call them controversial. Okay. Guess what? These controversial things of what got me better, guys. All of these things that I've had done have also been done when I went to Germany. And you can listen to back on episode 1, I think, of my journey into Germany. Everything that I did over there, my doctor in Seattle does, and it's fabulous. I don't understand why us as a healthcare system, we don't do things that are preventable, are treatable, that work. I don't understand the fight. If it saves a life, if it's safe, if it's FDA approved, like vitamin I is totally FDA approved. It's an FDA approved drug that's used for thousands of things. Penicillin. Guys, penicillin was used for horses, cows, pigs, dogs, sheep. We don't call that animal penicillin, do we? Nope, we don't. We call it penicillin. It is what it is. Obviously, there's grades that are, and different dosages for adults and humans versus animals, rightfully so. But why don't we take the time to offer these things that actually help? And yesterday I had a therapy, and it's called ozone therapy. Basically, they drained the blood out of me. I basically gave a liter of my blood into a bag, and then they inject it with ozone. Ozone is basically oxygen, O3. And you can Google and research what O3 is. And so my blood goes from dark red to cherry red vampire blood. And it's beautiful. And it was like, oh, you just want to drink it. It looks so good. It's yummy. It's like cherry red, cherry juice. And then they drain it back into me. So what is this that I'm having done, right? Is it safe? 100%. 100%. Oxygenating the blood. What's bad about that? Giving life to oxygen. Guys, when we oxygenate the blood, it also kills off what's called bugs, viruses, bacteria. Why don't we do this in the hospital? Why not? Can you imagine all the people that have been in the hospital if they would have done this and like oxygenated their blood and killed off some of these bugs and refiltered their blood and made good, clean blood? Now, I'm sorry, but the blood that you're getting at the blood bank, it's not clean, guys. It's not clean. I'm just saying. But if you're dying, you need life or death situation, yeah, get the blood. But I'm saying people have viruses. People have STDs. People have Lyme. I don't donate blood, guys. You don't want my blood. Sorry. Unless I guess you're really dying, you can have it. I'm A positive, by the way. So why don't we do that? I know I'm getting on a soapbox here right now, guys, but I'm so frustrated. And for people that are out there suffering and not getting answers and not getting the help and not getting, like, why aren't people telling them about take some NACs? Take your vitamin D. My goodness. Do you guys realize that over in, oh good gosh. Tavia, Israel, and I believe it was Brazil, they would go to the hospital when they were sick and they would leave with a pack of vitamins. Yeah. And ivermectin. Guess what? Their cases were so much less than ours too. And so it's just crazy to me. I'm just talking aloud here and blabbing on this podcast today. But I just wanted to talk about the unnecessary things, that are happening. and the things you may not be aware of. And yeah, I'm probably controversial to some people right now, but I don't care because I care about you. I care about your health. I want you to know. I want you to have all the information. Do your own research. If you don't believe me, that's fine. Do your own research. I don't care. If it doesn't jive with me, that's fine too. It's your body, it's your life. I want you to be healthy and happy. Ultimately, that's all I want for people that are listening to this, for my listeners, for my patients, for my clients. All I want for you is to be healthy and happy, and you deserve the best. You deserve to know there's options, there's choices, there's other things that are out there that are helping people that are not standard protocol, that are not saving lives, that are not helping people. That's what I do in my practice. That's what I do here at Sweet Life Coaching is I help those that are frustrated. I help those that have gone to the doctor and they're gone through all these tests. I just had a gal walk to my office last week. She's gone through doctor after doctor, drugs after drugs. She's getting nowhere. I asked her if she had this test done and that test done. She's like, no. No one has ever done that for her. No one even brings it up. And guys, these are tests that need to be done, that are out there. And it's like, now look it, I'm not going to knock the fabulous physicians out there. We have fabulous OBGYNs. We have fabulous surgeons. We have fabulous doctors out there that we need them. You know, if I'm cutting off if my arm's cut off, don't give me herbs, right? Don't give me vitamin C. Go take me to the hospital, right? There is a time and a place for things like that. Absolutely. And we need those people. And God bless the frontline workers right now. And God bless them for busting their ass and taking care of all the people that aren't taking care of themselves. I said it. Either they didn't get vaccinated. Like I said, I'm not anti-vax, guys. I'm saying do what's best for you. If you are in a compromised immune system, if you are over elderly, if you have some comorbidities, absolutely. I'm going to follow Dr. Robert Malone, who invented the mRNA technology, and he even says, yes, I think those people should get the vaccine. Absolutely. If you choose you want the vaccine and you feel it's the best for you, get the vaccine. And especially if you're not taking yourself, get the vaccine. If you want to get the vaccine. I'm not against what you want to do. I'm here to support what you want to do with your body. Okay? For me, it didn't make sense for me to get the vaccine. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to share my story and then we'll end here. And the reason why I did not, I went round and round and round with my doctor about this. I came probably 2 minutes away from getting the vaccine. And after going through my past history, where I have been on a heart monitor twice, I have had heart palpitations and PVCs. Those are pre-ventricular contractions. Lyme damaged my heart, you guys. I would probably be considered like a myocarditis patient already, which you've probably heard that term because of the vaccine and COVID and whatnot. So that was a big reason why I did not. My doctor felt that I already had some pre-existing conditions that could have amplified it. And we weren't sure yet. And there wasn't enough research. Furthermore, I have a blood clotting disorder. I have high fibrinogen. If you don't know what fibrin is or fibrinogen, go Google it. Go look it up. You need to know what it is. I'll explain it to you in a nutshell. It basically means that you have sticky blood. Your blood is thick. It's like fat in your blood, but it's not fat. It's sticky. It's just got gunk in it. When you have a high volume of bugs in you, like Lyme, co-infections, EBV, cytomegalovirus, herpes viruses, strep throat, if you have streptococcus, if you have HIV, anything, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, you're going to have high fibrinogen. And that also puts you at risk for blood clots. So those were the risk factors for me. And that's why I chose not to. Again, I'm being vulnerable right now. That's just my decision. So the alternative was that my doctor said, we keep you safe, stay home as much as possible. My husband and I have not had a trip in 2 years. We did not go anywhere. And if you know me, you can go look. We went to the beach last September with a family vacation, and that was because of a family vacation. But that was just my family. That was it. But nonetheless, we have not been anywhere in 2 years. I stayed home. I work from home. I wear my mask out. I boost my immune system. I do all the things just to protect myself so I wouldn't get sick. And it worked. Guys, it worked. How did I get sick? My husband brought it home to me, for the love of God. I didn't even go out and get it. So did my method to my madness work? I'd say it did. It did. But you know what? I'm grateful. I'm glad that I experienced it because I can talk to you today about this. I can talk to you and share my experience. Again, this is my experience, my opinion, my podcast, my show. Everything that I'm saying is completely my experience. It is not yours. You can do what you want with this information. You can criticize me. You can judge me. That's fine. You can listen and I don't have to hear your thoughts. I hope not. I hope that you enjoyed this show and I hope that you got a little bit of information. I would be happy to help anyone get through any condition. Doesn't just have to be COVID, it can be anything. And I just want to let you know, I am here for you guys. If you guys want some expertise, not opinion, just some truth, that's what I'm about. I will seek the information out for you if I don't know it. And I will give you all the facts and figures and you can make the decision. And then you can always take it to your doctor and discuss what's also right for you. Also, I did want to point out too, talking about doctors, not only did I talk to one doctor, I talked to 3 doctors about my health condition and the choice to get vaxxed or not. I didn't just talk to one. I talked to my primary care. I talked to my specialist. I also talked to another doctor, and I'm not going to name, that doesn't live in my state. So I did my research on what was best for me. So I want you to do your research, what's best for you always. Hopefully we are at the end of this. I pray that we are at the end of this, and that everybody can get back to life as normal as soon as possible. And I thank you. I pray for you all and thank you so much for listening today. And I just can't wait to share with you some more good this year. Lots of great speakers are going to be coming up, and lots of great things are coming up for Sweet Life Coaching. And you guys, this is going to be a good year. So that being said, I love you guys. Have an amazing day, an amazing night. Whenever you're listening to this, reach for the stars and pat yourself on the back. Give yourself some love today. Give someone else a compliment today. Everybody's struggling. Everybody's dealing with something. Go say, I love you. Go say, compliment someone on their shirt, their hair. The other day, we went to the coffee shop and this girl had amazing hair. And I just said, God, I love your hair. She's like, thank you. I had to tell her. So, all right, guys, I'm signing out. Peace out. I love you guys. Hope you enjoyed the show and we'll see you on the next show. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast. To learn more about the topics mentioned on today's show, please visit sweetcoachtavia.com.